Hey, it's Dr. Imka, and today I'm going to go over how to apply the Somaderm Hgh gel. I'm going to cover where you should put it, how much you should use, how often you should do it, to load or not to load, plus 2 extra biohacking tips that Alexi Goldstein, the developer, taught to me himself. Okay? So, step 1. We're trying to get it into the bloodstream. So we're using thin skin areas where you can see veins. So you can see this, you can see that you can see veins all along the inside of my wrists, inside my elbow, the back of my hands, very veiny. Tops of your feet, backs of your knees, these are also some typical places. Underarms are another location. Many of us have thinner skin the older we get, and there's veins all over the place. So I can do this on my calves, on varicose veins is a great location. We're not using the palm of our hands. We are not putting it in our mouth. We're not using the bottom of our feet. It's not about pores, it's about getting into the bloodstream. So we want permeable skin, okay? So we're going to talk about the pump size. There's various sizes that you can do with this. Because of the nature of the pump, you can make it be different sizes. We sometimes say things like pea size, blueberry size, strawberry size. Often we're going to talk about pea and blueberry. Most distributors are going to say, do a small pea size, do 2 small peas, do a blueberry, do 2 blueberries, okay? But I'm going to show you some of those sizes right now. There's something about loading or not loading. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Typically, you're going to do this 2 to 3 times a day, what I'm about to do. You want to do it really every 4 to 6 hours. So often, to get maximum results, we're looking at 3 times a day, every 4 to 6 hours. 6 a.m., noon, 4 p.m. That's 3 times a day that you're going to spread your dose out. Okay, so let's see if I can get the camera. Okay, so I'm going to call that about a pea size. I'm going to call that, maybe a blueberry, right? It's a big difference, that pea and that blueberry. So some people will be doing a small pea, medium-sized pea. You're going to have to get a gauge. This is a pretty big dose, and I'm okay with that. Now I scratched it to increase the absorption. So this is what you do. You rub it in. It's a real application. I'm really doing it. It's going to take a few minutes, you guys. This takes 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to keep talking as I do it, and I rotate to the back of my hands, and I keep going. In the instructions, it says to rotate locations. Why? I asked him. It was the one thing I didn't understand, and he told me, you actually don't have to. Why we suggest rotating locations is because the hormones in it burn off in about 30 minutes or so. They get metabolized really quickly. So you want to have even distribution all over the body, so you have this strong amount of hormone hitting different locations. So in general, though, if you have an injury, you want to apply it near that injury. So if you have bad knees, put it behind your knees all the time. If you've got a shoulder injury, put it on the back of the hand, get it in the armpit all the time, in the underarm. So people with hand pain, get it on the back of the hands and on this wrist. So it's that hormone very actively is going right to that area. So wherever you put it, that area right there, the hormones are stronger in that area. So a lot of people with varicose veins or leg pain or feet pain go down to that part of the body. So no need to worry if you're consistently kind of using the same location. Just know if you're always applying here and you have some primary problems at your feet, you might want to try and get down there and get that on the tops of your feet and on the veins. You can put it directly on varicose veins after trying to get it into the bloodstream, so the Hgh gets in right in there. To load or not to load. So there's a lot of advice that in the beginning, the first 30, 60, 90 days, you should load. That's how I was taught. But I found in clinical practice, it is best for most people to not load. I did load. I'd use very high amounts, and I went through my bottle very quickly. I find most women are not capable of loading. I think most people are better off to start much smaller, start with a pea size, do that 2, maybe 3 times that day, see how you respond. Go with your typical 5 days on, 2 days off, see how you're responding. Increase as needed, all right? So 1 bottle might last one person 4 weeks. 1 bottle might last another person 8 weeks. Typically for me, most people that I see in my practice are going between 4 to 6 weeks with 1 bottle.